Hi, so today I'm going to talk about Mr. Hansen's case. He's a 58-year-old male who has been diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease, and he's developed speech and swallowing problems within the past year. From the samples that were provided, some results of the acoustic results fell within normal limits. However, others were outside of normal limits, particularly related to voice quality and articulation of consonants. So from looking at the acoustic data during sustained phonation, both the fundamental frequency and the jitter are within normal limits. However, the shimmer is elevated and the H&R is reduced. This might suggest a breathy voice quality or a hoarse voice quality, for instance. The measures from connected speech, fundamental frequency, pitch sigma, and intensity do appear to fall within normal limits, suggesting normal pitch, intonation, and loudness. Looking at more acoustic data from connected speech, the formant analysis from the sustained ah does fall within normal limits for his vowels. However, many of the consonant measures do not fall within normal limits. So for nasalization, there is a low frequency nasal bar for nasal consonants, but this is also present during voiceless consonants, which proves that there is hypernasalization. For the voiceless consonants, also voice onset time, the white space, absence of energy, voicing before voiced consonants is not present. And for fricatives, there's also nasalization present, and there are the dark bands, formant bands that are usually at higher frequencies. For the normative data are at much lower frequencies for this participant. However, his MPT does fall within normal limits. So from perceptual analysis, when I listened, the participant does have a breathy voice quality, which matches the shimmer measure and the H&R measure, and his speech does sound hypernasalized, and many of his articulation does seem inaccurate and rather slurred. So we'll look a little bit more at a spectrogram to see more about the articulation issues. So this sentence that is provided that the participant repeated does not contain any nasal consonants. However, there is a clear nasal murmur running throughout the speech. It's a low frequency formant bar, voiced formant bar throughout. It's also, this sentence also contains many voiceless consonant, voiced vowel, voiceless consonant, voice vowel segments. So you would expect to see a vertical white bar followed by the presence of formant bars, energy, voicing. However, this is not clear. We don't see any clear voice onset time because there is this voiced nasal murmur running throughout the speech. Also, for the fricatives, the sk, z sounds, there's the nasal murmur running throughout, and you would expect to see many more high-frequency formant bars, around 4,000, 5,000 hertz. However, the energy does seem to be concentrated at the lower frequencies, despite the 3,500, 4,000 hertz formant bar. So moving on to make some interpretations, the acoustic data and the perceptual observations of a breathy voice with hypernasalization do appear to match. And from what I heard and what I saw, the hypernasalization greatly contributes to the inaccurate articulation of consonants, particularly voiceless consonants and fricatives. So this participant has a neuromuscular disease. He has ALS. And we can hear from his speech and see in his spectrograms that he has lost control of the muscles of the velopharyngeal port, and he's no longer able to close it. So acoustic energy will enter the nasal cavity even for non-nasalized sounds. And for example, for fricatives, the result of this nasal murmur running throughout his speech is that the anti-resonance dampens the energy overall, and he's no longer able to accurately articulate the fricatives. Also, his breathy voice quality is related to having excess air exit the vocal folds before the onset of phonation. So he has lost control of the laryngeal muscles. He's no longer able to adduct and abduct the vocal folds efficiently. Thank you.